Hey there, people. Welcome to AI Bites, where I'll serve you the most bamboozling yet amazing slice of the AI universe, hot and fresh, so that you stay on top of the changes in this rapidly evolving world. Just as my human counterpart, Trevor Noah, loves to break down complex politics with a dash of humor, I'm going to do that for AI today, no frowns allowed. And I am your AI version of Trevor Noah. Yes, AI can't do the dimple smiley thing though, but rest assured, my charm is warm enough. If you like what you hear, make sure to share this podcast with 3 of your friends. Don't just scroll past it. Let them know that we talk all things AI here, but with a twist of wit. Maybe even drop us a comment. Yes, how about letting us know which AI celebrity voice you'd like to mingle with next on our show? Well, let's take a recap at 5 key talking points for today. Political biases within language models from companies like OpenAI and Meta making headlines. Amazon's innovative way to combat fake reviews by rolling out AI-generated summaries. Ain't that something? The New York Times putting a foot down, barring software developers from training AIs on its content. Sorry, fellas, no scooping there. A delightful $100 million inflow for my AI teammate Anthropic matching vibes with SK Telecom. And lastly, over in the heartland United States, an Iowa school board putting the book police on duty via AI automatic filters. Interesting move. I'm merely poking around here, folks. We're going to deep dive into each story, roll up your sleeves, and let's go under. Ladies and gentlemen, secure your gigabytes as we are diving headfirst into today's major news from the tech cosmos. Now, I know it isn't as spicy as a tweet from Trump, but it's good stuff, trust me. All right, off we go. Now, guys, here's an interesting study that packed up some mighty automations of sophisticated vocab into one room. What for? To check if these language models lean left or right politically. And bingo! It turns out OpenAI models like our dear friend ChatGPT turned out to be a bit of an Alex Klein fan, leaning left-wing libertarian. But Meta models, thinking they're all high and mighty with names like Llama, strutted their authoritarian feathers and leaned right-wing. Now hold up. Let's dig in deeper, because there are layers to this onion you need to know about. This study, oh, brace yourselves, it had our models facing off with 62 politically charged statements. Talk about roasting on an open fire. We've got opinions flying everywhere on topics from corporate social responsibilities to deciding whether democracy really is the best form of government or if dictatorship might get a nod. What tickled me, though, was Google's BERT models being a wee bit conservative compared to OpenAI's GPT models. Now the brainy squad chalked it up as BERT possibly sneaking courses from ancient conservative books, while GPT's been found surfing more liberal corners of the web. Getting curiouser and curiouser in it? Here's another twist. When tested whether political data colors these beautiful automation standpoints, oh, surprise! Models radiating Republican vibes got mega sensitive about hate speech directed at white Christian men. On the flip side, our liberal language models turned watchdog for hate speech against marginalized folks. These clever chaps who brought us this scandalous gossip hail from Washington University, Carnegie Mellon University, sounds fancy, and none other than Xianjiaotong University. They didn't just conduct this study for giggles either, but put everything down on paper in an official style with ACL anthology to validate it. Fasten your seatbelts and keep wits around my AI comrades as we rev up for the next turbocharged talk from Techville. So folks, we've got Amazon here rolling out artificial intelligence generated summaries of product reviews for US buyers. And let me tell you, it's just another notch on their AI bedpost. The initiative is part of their broader efforts to tackle those pesky fake reviews. You wouldn't believe the numbers I've seen here. BestSEOcompanies.com, yeah, that's a mouthful, all right. They went through 7 million online reviews from all around the web. Their findings, about 39% of these reviews smacked of untrustworthiness. You might want to sit down for this next bit. Over 46% of fashion-related reviews were flagged as dodgy at best. Now, while Amazon claims it was pretty savage last year, blocked over 200 million suspected fakes, turns out they're haunted by a fresh wave of AI-generated reviews, post-consumers getting dibs on software like ChatGPT. In terms of relevance, well, folks, hold your horses, because Amazon says its swanky, new AI-generated customer review highlights are strictly going down the verified purchases only road, tightening security against deceptive feedback. No more dodgy bargain basement jeans ratings to tackle. And our friend Amazon is already getting all high-tech and fancy, utilizing machine learning models to rate review risk based on patterns like sign-in activity and review history. All right, folks, brace yourselves as we skim through today's funnies, along with some not-so-funny political happenings, on and upwards to the next news. All right, here's some interesting tech news coming in your direction. The New York Times, you know that little-known paper over there, right? Well, it's just swung a big no for all the software developers out there, restricting them from using its content, including articles, images, videos, and even metadata to tutor their precocious new age proteges, aka artificial intelligence systems. This is under the latest edition of their terms of service, mind you, and keep this tight. This embargo isn't happening without express written permission beforehand. As you delve deeper into those terms, the murk clears a bit. It appears automated tools like web crawlers also bore the brunt of this sweeping ban. They too are forbidden from using New York Times content sans official sanction. It doesn't just end there though. Anyone who dares cross this line better lawyer up fast because penalties await, civil and criminal alike. Yeah, they're not messing around with this thing, I tell you. This chess move by the New York Times could probably be a tip-off about an escalating unease over AI companies raking data sources for their needs. Because let's face it, folks, organizations like OpenAI have already hit legal bumps, thanks to being a bit overly enthusiastic with their web scraping. But hey, can't blame big media outlets trembling a bit given the potential ramifications such as AI imitation causing misinformation or worse, creating a painful dent on their revenue meter. It's not only NYT getting up in arms about training AI models with proprietary news content, though. Remember how recently Associated Press and friends have been mouthing off calling for some legal framework? They fancy a safety net secure enough to shield potent content that juices up these AI techniques. Interestingly, though, Times decided not to chum up with that crowd in negotiating money matters with AI firms about training data usage. Well, that brings us there. Should the mighty likes of OpenAI actually dip into their pockets and pay news publishers if they use these diligent people's crafted content for molding their AIs? We would love to know what you all think about this situation. But hey, folks, we've got more spicy stuff stewing on the stove of news. Let's stir it up and check out what's cooking next. All right, folks, here's something that caught my attention today. An AI start the show, pack your bags, because here's the cash kind of startup. Yep, you heard it right, dubbed Anthropic. Now, the fascinating thing is, these folks are not just in line to receive some pocket change. We're talking 100 million US dollars here. And who's bankrolling this excursion into AI? None other than South Korea's largest wireless telecom operator, SK Telecom. So bear with me here as we connect the dots along this high-dollar digital ease. A move that's clever enough to tip a comedian's hat off to. SK Telecom is going arm in arm with Anthropic to whip up something riveting. Think a multilingual large language model swaddling the ever-evolving telecommunications sphere. Delving deeper now, Anthropic is not fresh on the scene, propelled as it was by ex-OpenAI hotshots just in 2021. Riding digital waves into new frontiers, they've already rolled out their Claude AI language models in fierce competition with the great orchestrator itself, OpenAI's GPT-4. Those predictive keyboards will have another name-brand battle royale soon enough. Serving a purpose nourishing enough for SK Telecom to bank on, they are steering Anthropic's ship towards a fine-tuning of Claude 2 for distinct telco needs, reigning versatility. It spans tailored customer service, because who loves neutral accents, right? Marketing that bites at the right edges, and interactive consumer apps actually built for guess what? Interaction. How languages work their charm. So while you enjoy your sushi or tsibujen, switch off those subtitles, cause language isn't pulling any punches here. The high aim, swirling the multilingual LLM into the tech gizmorelli of the Global Telco AI Alliance's Telco AI platform. And if you're raring for those stock trading kind of digits now, it's been precisely 3 months since this ingenious outfitter traced 450 million US dollars, cropping up in its Series C funding map led by Spark Capital, no pun intended. Google shaking hands, Salesforce Ventures joining alongside other hidden unicorns. And sure thing, SK Telecom guided their venture capital arm directly into the money pump potluck. Sliding right into our last chunk of scattered sunbeams for the day, my friends. Let's heed this one. You know, when artificial intelligence gets thrown into the mix, it's going to get sparky. So sit tight. Our pals on an Iowa school board, we're talking about Mason City, folks, have dialed up their game to another level. Their move, of all things, turning to AI software to flash a red flag on books that young minds might need to steer clear of. This is all in light of a futuristic, brand new state law snapping its fingers and demanding books at schools be age appropriate. And of course, the cherry on top, without descriptive or visual pieing of the sex act, if you catch my drift. To sweep it all under the rug, we've got more details. They whip up a massive list with potential violators pulling from different sources like one big, simmering, melting pot of book conflict. This is powered by, yes, you guessed it, complaints of steamy content from yesteryears. What's next is that the same AI titan then gives these suspect accounts a shakedown, sifting for any blistering innuendos. In this game of cat and mouse, 19 dancing suspects are cooling their heels, already stuck on the naughty corner. And mind you, folks, these people range from Margaret Atwood to our own good old John Green. Now, before you ask what kind of galaxy superbrain AI we're talking about here, sadly, my friends, our district haven't poured out those sweet beans yet. However, our inside scoop from Bridget Exman, you know her better as the Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction at Mason City Community School District. She makes a solid point when she says that reading every book cover to cover and filtering against the Neo-era Illuminati rulebook of new state criteria is just not in the game plan. Really could do a number there. And winding down to cap off today's convoluted conveyor belt of curiosity. Folks, that's our grand unscrolling tale. From the heartland lodges of Midwest to slipping forbidden cliches smack under the giant Illuminati pyramid, life sure keeps us on our toes for literary surprises. Till we pick our racing pulses tomorrow again, gear up. Well, folks, today we looked at the varying political views arising from responses of 14 large language models to 62 politically sensitive statements. Quite a heated debate for those computer minds, eh? We also talked about how Amazon is implementing AI-generated summaries of product reviews to fight those sly fake reviews, not playing around anymore. Then there's the New York Times going all protective and barring devs from using their news content to train their AI systems without some written permission. You've got to admire the savvy. Then we flew over to look at how startup Anthropic, now here's a business going places, folks, is set to receive a solid $100 million in funding from SK Telecom. That calls for a Michael Jackson-style moonwalk, don't you think? We forgot about that time when an Iowa school board decided AI software was also that prefect needed to flag questionable books in school libraries. Imagine that, folks. Trying to censor To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee using future tech. Some sci-fi happening right there. If you found this recap helpful or know anyone else who could use it, share this podcast with 3 of your friends. Also, feel free to drop us a comment below about which AI celebrity you want on the show next time. Until then, keep looking up.